All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Bear Down Mike. Good morning, Calvin.
You like that?
What's up, Dwayne?
Hello to my new friend.
What's up, Detroit fan?
You like that?
What's up, Michael?
Playoffs.
All right. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Barry. Yeah. Oh, that's it right there. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen, to NFC North Talk with your host, Russell Wayne, and I am a Lion fan right there. Roshni, Chicago up, Bear down. Hey, thank you, Roshni, for jumping on the main stage last night and being part of the NFC North open mic last night. It was a fun show last night. I still think the smack talk in there is a little bit weak. You know, we're giving you guys permission to be all like, you know, smack talky. And, you know, you got to do that. If you have an opportunity to do that, you got to do that. And, you know, it was good football talk last night, but we can't wait to get into the season right here where we can, you know, get into some real smack talking because real football is right around the corner. How are you feeling about that out there?
You like that?
Yes, we can talk about real football games, but we do got some roster cut downs today. I mean, I'm okay with talking a little bit about the roster cut downs. There was a couple surprises on the Lions front on roster cut downs, but from your team, you know, whoever you're representing, who were your surprise roster cuts so far? I mean, I know we have until 4 o'clock Eastern time today. I think it'll be 3 o'clock in the Central, to where these roster cuts got to be in. I mean, you got to whittle your roster down to 53 men by 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock today, depending on what time zone you're in. So, and we have Main Event Mike on the line now. What's going on, Main Event Mike? Welcome to the program.
One time, baby.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yeah, man, this is like what I would call the tweener show, Mike. I mean, we really have some news, but I mean, a lot of speculation. I just threw it out to the people, who they would expect any roster cuts from their team that they were surprised with. How about you, Mike?
Well, first of all, I want to give kudos to Ryan Poles, general manager for the Chicago Bears. Before he goes and makes his final cuts, before teams get down to their 53-man roster, he went out and got an offensive lineman last night, gave up a low-round draft pick. Maybe a nobody guy, maybe a depth guy, but they're hurting so bad on the offensive line. The Chicago Bears have the first waiver claim, right? So at 4 o'clock, when all the teams have shed all the fat, he'll have first pick to rummage through that. But he's getting ahead of that and getting an offensive lineman before the teams do that, because they're just going to cut that player. So this essentially gives him two waiver claims in a row by being able to get this guy. I think his name is Green. He's an offensive lineman. He came from the Jets. It's a guy, obviously, that they targeted and think can help them. He gets this guy before the cuts. So now they're going to be able to add another piece. Just a good move, and it's head-scratching to me why we don't see Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah doing the same thing in Minnesota when his defense is so depleted.
Yeah, and you got to give them some credit for that, because you got to go out there, you got to try to make that team better. And as we do know, they have been hit with some injuries over there in the Chicago area. So I'm sure that Bear Down Mike, he said he got ramped up last night, and I hope that you had fun on here. And because I mean, it is sometimes it's tough because you get into smack talking, and and we do a good job of not making it too personal when people come on there, making them feel comfortable. So I hope you had a good time on there last night. But this has got to make you feel good, Bear Down Mike. You got you got your GM going out there and trying to plug those holes from those injured guys. So kudos.
Right. It's the timing here that's really key, that he's making a move before the cut deadline, just giving himself more levers to pull when that time comes. So kudos to him. I think they got a good GM, and they're building something good in Chicago. And as far as last night's trash talk, it's the off season. Trash talk is so mild in the off season. You just wait until these teams are going at each other, especially Packers Bears in week 1. That first Monday after that first weekend is going to be pretty hellacious on the NFC North Open mic.
Well, I think it really just goes to the fact that I don't really think that the other teams are that confident in their team, and really all they have right now is to make fun of us for trying to pump our chests out a little bit because we think our team's going to be pretty good. But the other 3 teams got so many question marks and stuff that I think that it's more of a scared thing. They don't want to come and pump their chest out on their team. They would rather just say that our team's going to fail. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of where the smack talk is. I mean, really, there is some smack talk ramping up. I see the smack talk in the NFC North, the huddle. They're throwing it out there. They're just, don't have enough courage to come up and speak their minds like Mike the Bear fan did last night, Yeah,
yes, he did. And it should be noted that last night on the show, a lot of the guys that were talking a lot of smack on your show yesterday, they didn't show up.
Yeah.
They didn't show up.
Yeah.
We had a couple in the comments, but they never came on. But it was, I think, one of the Bears fans, Rajneesh, called it out, said that it was weak. But yet he wouldn't come in and make it any stronger.
But that's all right. That's all right. Rajneesh is in here again today, and he knows that it was weak. He knows that that all 4 fan bases need to come a little bit stronger, and if they're going to represent their team. It was a little bit vanilla. So that's all right. We'll get more of it. Maybe we'll poke the bear a little bit more, You know, the Bear.
Unintended.
That's right.
You like that?
Oh man. So any surprises from our roster, Mike, that you want to talk about?
No, not really. I think the Lions are hedging their bets with Dylan Drummond, and they expect to have him back on the practice squad. An undrafted rookie from Eastern Michigan. He played well in the preseason, but he didn't play spectacular. I don't think that there's going to be a team that picks him up. But if there is, then sometimes when you hedge your bet, you lose.
Right.
So I really see them keeping the core receivers from last year plus Marvin Jones, and I don't think Chase Cota makes the team either. I think they would hedge their bet on him as well, and just keep the receivers that they have for now. Let these other players clear waivers and come back to them. Instead, they would be more apt to keep Stephen Gilmore, Starling Thomas V. These DBs are so, valuable, right? And I think it would behoove them to go ahead and keep these DBs for now, let the other players come back around, and then they can always designate players to the practice squad later.
Yeah, I like that call, Mike, because I know that there was some of the Lion fans that were out there that were, they were upset. I mean, Dylan Drummond had a hell of a camp, man. He did not get cut for any talent reason whatsoever. I mean, he came in from, basically off of the street and competed and was one of the better receivers on the team. So I don't think that he was cut because of talent. I think that you're right. Alluding to what you're saying is that there's other players that probably wouldn't make it through waivers. And I think Dylan Drummond and Chase Cota could make it through waivers.
Right. And this is just another component of being a GM, this chess match that you play against the other 31 teams of who's going to clear waivers, who can we get back here. And Dan Campbell said most of these players will be back. They're going to come back to us. And he made a great point that, and if they don't, hey, at least they put together some good tape. They've got some good tape from this preseason and this training camp that they can go out and shop their services. And I just love the attitude of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes on these players and the love that they show. And they do everything they can for them. They don't just kick them out on the street and say thanks for nothing.
Yeah, right on. Chad Ryu says that they all mad because we going 12-5, and I know he's a Lions fan. And I mean, I feel weird as a Lions fan having confidence, honestly. Like, it's been so long, like 2016 since we've had any type of confidence, and they're right. Lions really, it
does feel weird. It feels weird. You're right.
2 years in a row, they haven't strung 2 good seasons together. So we'll see. Jason MC says, I'm with Adam McIntyre currently, and we can he can barely contain himself. Okay.
Yeah.
When it talks about the beginning of the season, because, there are some, the Viking fans, they're pumping their chests out a little bit. They won the division last year. The Green Bay Packers are the Green Bay Packers. They think that they deserve a great season. And the Lion fans are giddy because we've never really done anything before. And the thought of doing something makes us giddy. And then the Chicago Bear fans, Ryan Poles did a lot in the offseason. And here we are at Roster Cuts, and we're going to be talking about real football. Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears in week 1. What do you think about that? Throw that in the comments. Spark some conversation for us right here. Because this is the boring part. This is probably the most boring show that we're going to do this week because we're in the middle of it. We don't know what the roster is. I mean, there could be roster cuts happening right now. We might even break news on this show.
Right, and when you think about it that way, with all 32 teams, there will be over 800 players available at 4 o'clock that have been through training camp, that have been through preseason games, that have game experience. There'll be some veterans as well. There's already a really nice list of veteran kickers available, including Robbie Gould and Cade York, who was a high draft pick kicker. So kickers are going to be in demand. DBs are going to be in demand. And offensive linemen. Those 3 positions, I think you're going to see a lot of cherry picking out of the pool of players that are going to be left at 4 o'clock today.
So Calvin brings up a good point that I actually wanted to bring up today, because I did see an article that says, I wonder if Detroit does anything with James Houston before the 4 o'clock deadline, and if they do anything. I did see an article that said that James Houston was listed as a possible trade candidate by Sports Illustrated 1 hour ago. I don't know, because I know that we do have a lot of depth on the defensive line and the pass rusher spot, and part of the reason that you believe that we're only keeping, a certain amount of these wide receivers is because of depth at other positions. What do you think about that? I mean, what do you think about trading Houston? What do you think we could get for Houston?
I would be completely mind blown if James Houston was traded or waived. I mean, this guy's a superstar in the making, possibly, right? I mean, if he even goes half of what he did last season, he's a solid guy that you don't get rid of. You sign him to an extension and keep him for years. I mean, this guy could be potentially a superstar,
right? But I'm thinking
I would be mind blown if the Lions let go of James Houston. I think he's a key part of their plans for the future.
And that's fine. I mean, that's fine. And the thing is like, this isn't Julian Okwara right here. This is the guy that had 8 sacks last year. And the arrow is definitely pointing up, which would mean that you wouldn't get a 5 or 6 from him. I mean, he would probably warrant a day 2 pick, and maybe a day 2 and a day 3 pick to get somebody like Houston. They would have to pay for him. I would think if they were going to, kick that can down the road, keep some of the other pass rushers that are on this team, because we're loaded. There's no doubt about it. There's only a certain amount of position, and you can't play them all at the same time. So
I would definitely think that if we were going to trade someone on that defensive line or defensive end, it certainly wouldn't be James Houston. We have other candidates. Either of the Okwara brothers could probably bring you a day 2 draft capital return. These guys we got a ton of them. So it wouldn't surprise me if they made a move, but James Houston would really surprise me.
But here's something that's interesting to know. I don't know if everybody knew this about James Houston. This is not a traditional 4-year deal that they have him on. This is the last year of his deal, because he was on the practice squad first and he was promoted. So you would have to, they're going to have to decide whether to pay James Houston or to part ways with him. And this would be the highest part of his value is right now, right? Like right here, right? Coming right off the rookie season. I mean, I would dare say that you could get a 2nd and a 4th round pick for somebody like him, because you could build your team around somebody that has that type of skill set that rushes the passer. He had 8 sacks in 7 games. That's an NFL record. Like, that's never happened before from a rookie, so it's that's pretty crazy that would be out there, because I think it would be Julian Okwara or Romeo Okwara or one of these other guys that are on the bottom of the depth chart. I wouldn't think it would be James Houston, but it's out there. Sports Illustrated. I can throw that article into the comments if you guys want to look at that. It's by Fan Nation. They do something for every single team. But I'll throw that link in there as a trade can. You guys can read that for yourself. But what do you think? As a Lion fan, would you consider trading James Houston? We got a couple people. We need to keep James Houston, says Dwayne. No trade or anything. So no. We got
but then it becomes a free agent next year, right?
He's a free agent next year. So
your choices are sign him now, sign him before the deadline mid-season, or risk losing him and getting nothing. So it is an interesting proposition, because Brad Holmes is not in the market of losing good players. He's not in the market of getting taken. And what was James Houston, a 5th or a 6th round pick?
He was a 6th round pick.
6th round pick.
Yep.
And if he was able to just flip that for a third-round pick, I mean, then he's already that is something, I guess, it's better than nothing. It's better than being left holding the bag next year and not getting anything.
And let's be realistic right here about what James Houston is James Houston is a lot like the guy they just got in Chicago, Yannick, where they're trying to get him out there on downs 1 and 2 and see if he can not be a liability versus the run. So right now, that's what you're getting. He is a pass rushing specialist. You're only going to see him on pass downs in those type of situations. And teams know that. You know, when you know that the guy can't stop on the run, it's like, okay, we won't. I mean, I'll run right at that for 5 yards rather than go for my pass play. You know, so let's not overvalue what he is, because put in the right situations, you know, last year with Aiden Hutchinson on the other side is like they have to allocate people. Aiden Hutchinson, because of the way he is and the way they double team him. I mean, James Houston got a lot of one-on-one looks versus tackles and tight ends last year. So I'm not taking anything away from him. You got 8 sacks. I mean, that's amazing. He's an amazing player, but I can't see Brad Holmes doing it like you said, unless it's a second-round pick or, you know, something that's, you know, a significant type of player where you can upgrade right there. I wouldn't do it. Let's see. Chad says we definitely need to keep him. Detroit Fan Man says, so Houston doesn't get paid next year because he's only played 2 years. He is an ERFA, and after this year, and hyper cheap. I'm not sure how the ERFA works in that way. And the thing is if he does really well, you're going to have to pay him, Detroit Fan Man. Like, he's not going to accept the ERFA. He can do the holdout thing. He's not going to play for $750,000 if he gets 8+ sacks again this year. So that's the thing. I mean, and if you're right, that actually makes him even more valuable if he were to be traded right now, right there. If what you're saying is true, and he would be cheap for next year, then that would make his trade value even higher. Dwayne Keene says, sign him now. Okay. Do you want to sign him now? I got to pose this question back to you, Dwayne, is if you sign him now, you're going to have to pay him now. And I know that he had a good season last year, but there's nothing that's going to say that he's just going to duplicate that. So do you want to pay him like a top pass rusher in the league right now? Because I think that's probably what he would want. I have no idea. What would the cost be for Houston? What do you think that we could get? Like, what would we have to re-sign him for? How much would you think we would have to pay him, Mike?
I think we'd have to give him, well, as a defensive end. I mean, the pay scales for the defensive end and the linebackers are miles apart, right?
Right.
He's kind of a hybrid. I mean, unless you're the Chicago Bears, no one's paying a linebacker $20 million. But they are giving defensive ends $20 million. James Houston in his second year is nowhere near that kind of money. It really is a dicey proposition when you look at it through that lens that, man, we got to do something with him now. If only we could just get 1 or 2 more years before we had to address his contract, that would put us in a much better position. So I wish I had a good answer, but I just don't.
It's a weird place to be with that.
I mean, it is. It is. Obviously, the man wants to get paid. You know, what's his desire to stay in Detroit, to stay with this team?
Right.
We've got him this year, and that much we know. We don't know his relationship with the management. You know, what's the, you know, I'd like to take his temperature on how he feels. And I'm sure Brad Holmes knows all that. It's going to be interesting to see. Here's what I think happens. I think we just let him play out this year and let him determine his own value.
Right.
And at the end of the year, we try to sign him. We tell him we love him. We drafted your ass. Maybe nobody would have drafted you if we hadn't.
Right.
And here you are. Now you're a star. You're in line for a big contract. That's because of us. So here, Here's a respectable offer.
Right.
Please take it. And if he doesn't, he doesn't, and there's nothing we can do about it. It only cost us a 6th-round pick, and we got 2 years of good production out of him. So I think that's the way the Lions go, is they just let it play out, let him play out his contract, and try to sign him if he's worth it at the end of the year.
Right.
But one thing that should be noted, Russ, we do see drop-off on pass rushers, right? And the reason that we do that is because these offensive linemen and these offensive coordinators, they start to see your moves. Right, you come in and you got one really good move, or you got a bull rush move, or you got a swim move, and they key on it, and they learn how to handle you because you just don't have enough tools in your tool belt to So there is a drop off. So we need to see if he develops, if he progresses. Is he still a problem, or is he going to have to change his nickname to the Annoyance?
Well, right, but to bear down Mike's question, what would it cost for Houston? And I'm going to answer it like this: is John Kaminsky just got a 2-year, $8 million deal. There is zero chance that he would make more money than John Kaminsky because of how much they like John Kaminsky and who he is. So I think if they were to offer him a deal, it would be about $4 million a year. I think that's what they would what they would offer him.
So Kaminsky's deal is $4 million a year for 2 years.
Right. And that's such a Brad Holmes contract, isn't it? I mean,
yes. But here's the question: would you sign James Houston to that deal right now?
That would be the question. I don't think that I don't think that I would, and I think that might be one of the reasons that he would be considered in this shopping spree right here. But you're gonna have to pay for him. Brad Holmes ain't gonna give him away. You're gonna have to pay for his upside. Like, you were going to pay me in draft capital as if he is going to be the ceiling. Okay? Like, you're going to get 10 to 15 sacks this year, and you're going to pay me in draft capital that meets that because I'm giving you him cheap. Like, you're going to have him on this contract. You may have to extend him at that point, but, like, that's what I would think with Houston. It's going to be, you would have to get something good for him. But maybe I'm out of my gourd right here. But Michael,
there's my take. We don't move him at all. We don't sign him. We just let it play out, run him through this year, see how he does, and make him a respectable offer to stay. That's my take.
So Mike says, no, please keep James Houston. Have him sign for an extended period if the defensive line improves. This could help Detroit go to the playoffs. A strong defense helps the team in the long run. And that's true, Mike. I agree with you 100%.
You like that?
And the thing is we have depth at defensive line. The only reason that we're in this problem, which is a good problem to have, pun intended, the problem, is because Brad Holmes has done such a good job at bringing in depth. That's the only reason you're thinking about something like this, because our pass rusher room is loaded with talent. So much to the fact that they're going to have to probably move on from one guy or only keep 5 wide receivers, right? It's like, that's a good problem to have. Calvin says, not saying I want him to go, just was wondering. Yeah, I don't want him to go either. He was my favorite draft pick from last year. I love the James Houston pick. Wow. Yeah, it was like when you're listening to Deion Sanders talk about this kid. I mean, he's been through a lot. And I mean, his path to the NFL was unlike anybody else's path to the NFL. You know, it's crazy what he went through, but here he is. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the dynamic has changed in Detroit as well. I mean, it used to be in the past when a team, when the Lions would waive a player, other teams around the league are thinking, well, if he didn't make it at the Lions, he's certainly not going to make it here. Which is why James Houston cleared waivers last year and was able to come back to the practice squad for us. Boy, were we lucky that happened. I don't think that other teams are looking at Lions cuts that way anymore. They're taking long, hard looks at players that the Lions cut and saying, can they fit here? And I just don't think it was like that in the past.
Right. And I'm looking here because I got this comment up from Detroit fan, and the exclusive rights free agent will get, though we get to set the price, and the deal next year would be like $750K. But I'm looking at the stuff right here, and they don't have to accept that price, though, Detroit fan man. He can refuse that, and I don't know if they can go into where they hold out like that. I don't think that you're going to be able to get him for $750,000 next year if he plays good. There's zero chance.
Exclusive rights. Doesn't exclusive rights free agent mean, though, that we can match any offer and keep him?
Right. That means I think that exclusive rights means that we get to set the price as an okay. What is
no?
I'm reading it from Pro Football Network right now. I'm going to read the article from Pro Football Network before we start speculating here. An exclusive rights free agent is a player with just 2 or fewer accrued seasons on an expired contract. This is a contract to a restricted free agent is a 3 accrued, and unrestricted is 4 or more. Okay, just to tell you the difference between this is exclusive rights free agent and the restricted free agent is 3, unrestricted is 4. Okay. To accrue a season, a player must have been on the team for on the team's roster for more than 6 regular seasons games. However, the player does not need to be active for the games to accrue of the season, and the player on injured reserve or on the physically the PUP list. Oh, stop putting things up in front of my stuff. However, the player can go onto the practice squad, non-football injury list, or the commissioner's exempt list, and does not get credit for. Okay, that's a bunch of rules in it, but it looks all
right. So we know James Houston falls into that category of exclusive right. Expiring contract, 2 years. So we know that. What are the rules on the IRFA?
Yeah, that's where they don't go into that part right there. And I keep on getting ads in front of me. It's like they put an ad right in front of the word right while I'm reading it. Let's see. This right here, that article right there just talked about what it is. So on the fly here, I want to be able to find something. I am going to find something and put it into this chat right here so we can figure out exactly what that is. So because I think that he could hold out on that, especially if it's one of these deals, but he could be right, because it is less than 2 years on the contract. And, we did draft him. So, and he went to the practice squad. I would think that maybe we do have more rights to him. He could be right on that. So let's move on from that. Mark says that if you can get a 2nd and a 4th round pick, you trade him. I mean, that's what I mean when I say you're looking at this. You're not just going to give this guy away. There's no way. He was too good last year. Jeff says that the problem is James Houston smells a payday coming soon, and I don't think Holmes is willing to pay anything near that. So getting him under a new contract may not even be possible.
Okay, here you go. I've got it for you. Exclusive rights, free agent specifics. There's little incentive for teams to make offers because the teams hold all the leverage here. And here's how it goes. If a player's current team offers them a contract at the league minimum, they cannot negotiate with other teams. So that's all we have to do is offer him a league minimum contract, and he cannot go out there and negotiate.
And that's for next year?
Yep.
And he can also sit out too. Like, you can also not even go and and be a distraction. He can also do that, because there's no way that James Houston's going to go out there after getting, like, especially if he gets 8+ sacks again. There's no way he's going to go out there.
Here's the thing, Russ. After next year, he'll be then a restricted free agent because he'll have 3 accrued seasons. And after that year, he'll be an unrestricted free agent because he'll have 4 accrued seasons. So it would behoove the team to only offer him a 1-year league minimum, and we would be able then to keep him for 2 more years if we did that.
Yeah, and gosh,
the teams hold all the leverage here, so it makes no sense after reading this, I don't see why Brad Holmes would extend him now or make any offer now when we potentially would have him for another year, and you've got a whole 2 years to try to get a deal done with him if he turns out to be what we think he could be.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. On that, I agree with you that we definitely would not extend him right now. That by what we just read right there and what you just said, there's no way that they would want to extend him right now. We have all of the leverage. That's awesome. Bear Down Mike says, would you guys take a fourth? No, we're not going to take a 4th round pick. That's the point here. Is like, you're not going to, would you trade a guy that had 8 sacks on your team for a 4th round pick? Bear Down Mike, I'll pose it back to you and then you'll answer your own question. A-Dub says, I feel that the benches may decide the game between Chicago and Green Bay in terms of how the Bears O-line matches up against the Packers front and vice versa. There we go. Let's talk about the Bears and the Packers here. That's A-Dub. What do you think of that game? Did I lose you?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I'm here. No, absolutely. A-Dub's always got a great take. I'm on record as saying I think the Packers win on the road week 1 against the Bears. They're just too solid up and down the roster. The Bears seem to be a little bit discombobulated. I also think that the Packers are a better coached team than the Bears. The Bears have a great secondary, but other than that, they're hurting in every other area.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that Green Bay is just too powerful up front, and they only got better up front, where Chicago, I mean, it looks like you're going backwards. Looks like you're going to try to fill out that roster, with offensive linemen that don't have a ton of experience. And I mean, that Green Bay defensive line is legit. I mean, it is what it is, guys. I think that you're going to get beat down. The Chicago's going to get beat down week 1 by the.
I got to jump off, Russ. But it's going to be so great tomorrow morning. We're going to know the 53-man rosters for all 4 teams in the NFC North, and we'll be able to break those down tomorrow, and I can't wait for that. God bless you and your viewers, and thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Hey, have a great day. That's Main Event Mike right there. That's he is.
Thank you.
He is our fearless leader of the NFC North open mic, airing every single week. Right there. I had to find a little thing. NFC North open mic every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, streaming live right here into the Detroit Lions news, Bill the Packer fan, Mike the Bear fan, NFC North main event, and into our YouTube channel. YouTube channel is the best experience. So, I mean, I would love it if you guys would go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If the only reason is that I can see your comments and I can see who the comment is. And right now we're spread out between all of these different places that we stream live into. And I'm trying to move everybody to a nice centralized location. So right now, what I think I am going to do at this point is I want to invite you guys on. I'm going to talk a little football today. It's Tuesday because everybody's in the speculation mode right now of what their teams are going to do. We might even be able to, break some news maybe. But I think Houston is oh my God. Dorn says Houston is a one-trick pony. Oh my gosh, Dorn, you guys would love to have James Houston on your team. He's got a pass rushing move that nobody can block yet. I don't care if it's a one-trick pony move. Nobody can block it yet. Any big offensive lineman that he goes up against, it doesn't even matter if you're a Hall of Fame guy. It's his size that gets over on these gigantic offensive linemen. They don't have a prayer against him. He's got this dip move that just works. Ask Josh Allen about it. I mean, when they put him out there, that's crazy. That's crazy you would say that, John Dorn. But I know that you're just trying to agitate people. Michael says that you can always sign James Houston with conditions based off performance. Yeah, I like that, man. And thank you for clearing up, Michael. Thank you for clearing up ERFA and making us look it up. And because it's good information. If we're not, we're not the smartest football fans in the world, but we are willing to use Google and find out. Oh man. But he does get to negotiate. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that was the only part. And I'm glad that we discovered that too. Detroit Daniel said, I think Houston is great, but honestly, he declines this year when the teams have film on him now and his skill set is unfortunately limited in pass rushing. There is some truth to that in you and Dorn, with you and Dorn. But here's the thing, is like, he's got a pass rushing move, and it isn't just one move. Like, I can't subscribe to that. The kid has got a special pass rushing move. And if you watch him, it was just like you hold your breath every time he goes out there. I think that what he does need to do is learn how to play the run. And if he learns how to play the run, he'll make $15-20 million a year in this league. But he's got to learn how to play the run. That's the only reason why Yannick lasted so long before the Bears signed him, because he can't play the run. He's never proven he can play the run. And, it doesn't matter how much you want to try to play the run. He's just never been that guy, but he can rush the passer. He will bring you, 8-10 sacks every season. And I think that that's what James Houston is right now, if he can't learn how to play the run. So Detroit Fan Man says, so James is an ERFA with 2 accrued seasons. The price is set, so he can either play for us at that price or he can walk away from the league, I guess. Yeah, I do. Now, after reading it and reading the rule on it and understanding a little bit more, yeah, the Lions have all of the leverage when it comes to this right now, which, I mean, trading him may actually be the best respect move to do for him, but you're going to have to pay for him. I don't think that they would trade him for anything less than a second-round pick. And that's just me. Maybe I'm a blowhard right here, but the guy had 8 sacks. He had 8 sacks last year, and he did it in 7 games. He was on a special pace, and honestly, I think that we're just going to keep him. And in that way, everybody can find out. If he performed like that he did last year, $2 million a year is a safe price tag. That would be up to Brad Holmes, and I think Brad Holmes has played it smart, man. That's another feather in his cap. If Houston regresses next season, wouldn't it be the best interest to trade him now while his value is high? And I guess that's where the debate would come. Bear down, Mike. Oh, there's John. We got John Kapler, who is in the back stage right now. Want to come on and talk a little Lions, probably. Welcome to the program, John.
What's going on? What's going on, man?
We're in roster cutdown day, man. This is it's kind of like we're
happy 53 day. Woohoo!
Happy 53, but not so happy for the people that are going to have to be looking for work. And
yep.
I think we're going to get some explosion by the end of today.
Oh yeah, we're going to cut down to, I think, like 50, 51, and then we'll pick a couple players up from some other teams like we just did with making our quarterback room the best. I just put the comment in there. PJ Walker, the signing of him, does that make our quarterback room one of the best quarterback rooms in football? I mean, you got Goff, you got Bridgewater, who's a very good number 2, who's not just, quarterback, but he's helping out wide receivers, he's helping out hooker. You bring in PJ Walker, who was a star in the other leagues, who we see enough in him to sign him to make him be the third. And then you've got a rookie hooker who's on pre-NFL injury list, who, could start right now if need be, but, want to make sure he's good, whatnot. Those 4 quarterbacks.
So are you breaking news on PJ Walker, or is that just what you want?
No. Oh, yeah, I guess no one else heard about it.
But I didn't.
Like 2 hours ago. Yeah, we picked up Walker.
All right. Well, we'll probably get made fun of for that one right there from all of that.
I'm okay with that. I don't drink the Kool-Aid too often, so I'll drink some Kool-Aid for once.
I mean, I think it's a non-thing. I mean,
No, definitely.
I mean, it's a whatever. I mean, they got.
I mean, it's an upgrade from what we had in Sudfeld, I think. I mean, not by very much, but not improvement's an improvement.
I don't even know.
Why not?
I mean, is that really an upgrade over Sudfield? I don't know. PJ Walker did
I mean,
not look good.
I mean, what would Sudfeld do in the what was that, the AFL and the XFL and all that he came from?
All right, so let's hear. Yeah, all speculation. Let's see.
Okay.
There you go.
Yep,
I want to bring
right there. Yeah.
Drinking a little bit of the woo. Yeah, as a third quarterback, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I hope they don't keep him over one of the pass rushers because I mean, if they, I mean, I don't know that's not good news to me.
I mean, on 53 day, you have guys that get signed and released, so you can sign other guys. So I mean, this guy could be on the team for all of 5 hours.
Yeah,
and then if someone we find better, like, oh, this player is even better at a position of need. Sorry, PJ, snip, snip. So.
Yeah, but I mean, you waive guys like Dylan Drummond. I would take Dylan Drummond over PJ Walker.
Yeah, I get that. Yep.
Maybe Holmes dangles a stake out there at the deadline with Houston. I mean, I don't know. I have no. The fireworks might go off today, folks. You know.
Now, I do have a question. Maybe you or one of the viewers can answer. I know by 4:00 we have to be down to 53. Does that have to be our final, or is it just, hey, you got to get down to that, and you can be, like I said, at 50, 51, then you can still pick up people, but as long as you're at 53,
I mean, you get right? You have to have 53 guys on your roster, and then you have to cut a guy before you bring another guy up. I mean, as
long as by 4 we're down to 53, we can whittle niddle up to 5 minutes before kickoff. Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to clarify. I'm not great with all the little tiny rules here or there, but thought I would ask. Thank you.
Sarah says that why would you carry 4 QBs? It's a waste of roster. It's a waste of a roster spot. I agree with that. I don't like that move. I mean, I can't see that. I know they're going to move. I mean, well, really, Hooker isn't taking up a roster spot right now because
no, because he's on that injured, so he doesn't count. So that's why I'm okay with this. Because last year we went in with 3, didn't we?
Yeah, but like I said, man, we got good pass rushers on our team. If we're thinking about trading James Houston, I mean, screw the third quarterback.
I'm definitely with you, but it's an upgrade from where we were at. With Bridgewater, I mean, Bridgewater is, what a 2 and a 3 combined should be. So really you don't need a third. At least that's how I look at it. Bridgewater's skill set as a backup is a 2 and a 3 combined. So,
well, I mean, what they may do is waive him, bring him on and waive him because I don't think anyone's going to pick up PJ Walker. I mean, you think somebody's going to pick him up? I think they could waive him and get him to the practice squad because
very well could do it. Yeah,
he was bad. Michael says that my thoughts on the holdout for KC. Christ Jones had 15.5 sacks last year versus Detroit. He's gonna, if he sits out, that's gonna be that'll make the point spread switch.
I don't see him sitting out. I think it'll be one of those game time things, but all right, let me get here and play. I mean, unless he's going to do what Emmitt Smith did back in the day, miss like 2 weeks and really make Kansas City worry, like, all right, fine, here's the damn deal. Let's get it done. But I think week 1, he's like, all right, let's just get this done. He's trying to do what every agent and player does. Play hardball to get what he wants. And maybe Casey gives in, maybe Casey doesn't. But all that's doing is hurting him. That's taking money out of his paycheck.
No, it hurts KC. KC.
I mean, it does, but it also hurts him as well.
KC, you need to realize that Chris Jones has the leverage in this situation. This isn't like the Brad Holmes and Houston situation. Chris Jones is on a contract that is eating up a percentage of your salary cap right now, and he isn't reporting. And if he doesn't report and he has the money to hold out, And if he holds out the entire season, then you will
No,
lose.
if he does that, oh yeah, definitely.
And then
Definitely, the
you
whole
will
season.
lose
Oh, yeah.
him. And guess what? Somebody else will pay him. So he has all the leverage. I fully expect the extension to be done before
Yeah.
week 1 with
Yeah,
him.
no, definitely. Extension, a new deal, something like that. I don't see him missing out. I see him getting it done.
Well, I see him trying to get his money. You know, he's
No,
already.
no. I mean, and every player does. I mean, wouldn't you? Wouldn't I?
I'm not.
Fuck yeah, we would.
Yeah, but I'm you. Or you are you, and I am I, and he's Chris M-F Jones that had.
I know he is, but I'm saying if we were in those shoes to make that kind of money, we're like, hey, we want more money because we're the motherfucking man. We would do.
We don't get to say that, Mike. We don't get to say, oh, that's just anybody's going to get to. No, not anybody. There's one.
You wouldn't if you were in his position. You wouldn't hold out for more money.
I would, absolutely, and he gets to.
There you go. That's all I was saying. And yeah, that's what I was saying. You know,
he gets to do that because he's Chris Jones. Like,
damn right.
And he watched a couple other defensive linemen get paid more than him that aren't nearly as good as him. And he's like, okay, wait a minute. You need to pay me what this guy got paid. You need to reset this market again. And I don't know. That would shave a point from Vegas, I think. I think it would take the.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, if he's not there week 1, yeah.
The betting would go down by an entire point, I think, if Chris Jones didn't play in that game, that you would be able to get like right now, you should, if you're betting on the Lions to cover that spread, I would go make that bet right now, because if Chris Jones doesn't play, you ain't going to get 6 points anymore. You're going to get maybe 5, like maybe even 4.5. You have Chris Jones is a gigantic part of that.
Oh, he's the biggest defensive nasty weapon in the NFL.
And if
under Aaron Donald, I would say he's number 2.
And if he's not in the middle of that defense, and I'm the Detroit Lions, I'm running right up the middle. I'm gonna keep Patrick Mahomes off of the field if Chris Jones doesn't play. Let's see what else. Let's see if I got anything in here. I don't like to waste money like that. Let's see. Hold a clipboard for $2 or $3 million a year. Is that what PJ Walker got paid? He didn't get paid no $3 million. Stop it. He came in.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Let's Sarah do some reporting.
There's no way that they paid him any money. I mean,
I wouldn't think so. As a guy, they're going to cut maybe up to if something happened. But I mean, I would think they would give him like a minimum sort of thing, because that's what you gave Teddy Bridgewater. I'm looking at the
article.
Wait, isn't that what Teddy Bridgewater got? Maybe she's talking about Teddy, because Teddy's holding the clipboard and all that, and I feel like that's what he got paid was 2-3.
Let's see. Sarah, did you get your Lions gear yet? No. I don't think so. Broken tubing. Sarah, don't buy anything from that guy. I'm sorry for even showing that. Mark, can you come on the show? Of course you can come on the show, Mark. I'm going to throw the link in there again.
That's all I got on. Click the link, people. Come on in.
You're like my parrot. Like I don't have to even worry about. I gotta like. Let's see.
Probably want a cracker. Probably doesn't want a cracker.
Let's see. Does Romeo make the squad or Houston? I would hope they both make it.
One of the acquirers is going to get cut, I believe.
Romeo or allow Houston to take his spot. I think you should have both of the guys. I mean, you should have as much depth as you can, and they will. They're going to have a depth up to every single roster spot that is there for,
and that will help their defense tremendously if they do that. You're keeping guys fresher. Your defense is being better because of that.
Trading Houston for Moody and then cut our kicker. That is the most ridiculous.
No. I mean, I'm all about that's the guy from Michigan, right? Moody.
Yeah. Who they?
No, don't get me wrong. I like Moody, but he is not on the same level equally. And if you were to do the position,
that's ridiculous.
As a punter, he's down here to where Houston's up here as an edge rusher.
You're giving him too much, John.
Or not a punter, a kicker.
That does not deserve any. That is an awful. I mean, you're going to trade James Houston for a kicker that hasn't even done anything yet?
No.
All right, welcome to the program. What is going on, Mark Oram?
Hey, how's it going, boys? Can you hear me?
Mark Oram, what up, buddy?
What's up? Can you hear me, guys?
I can hear you.
Okay, awesome, man. What's going on?
I got a delay with you.
Oh, it's a delay?
I have no idea why.
An echo delay?
Probably my phone, maybe.
Is it?
I don't know, bro. I'm not too sure.
I wonder.
Can you turn me out? I don't know if you can turn me off speaker or something like that. I have no.
Let me see if I can do something here.
Want some headphones? That's what I'm rocking with.
Let me see if I can find something here.
I might be able to get some headphones. Yeah.
Hold on. Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Think it worked.
That didn't work.
Let me try something.
Wait, that worked. No,
Let me try to get some headphones. Maybe it'll be better.
Yeah. Let me.
Now it's on your end, man.
Is it me?
No, not you. You're good. Me and you are good.
Let me try to see if I can get a Bluetooth. You think a Bluetooth be okay?
I don't know how. All of a sudden, I was. Gosh, I can't even talk with that shit on like that. Shit.
Let me see something here, guys. Just give me a sec, okay? Just give me a sec. Just continue. I'll just put my camera off.
Okay. Sounds good. But like I said yesterday,
Let me see something.
I think we do need to pick up a kicker, but definitely not be trading Houston for a kicker. God no. But I do think we need an upgrade.
All right. Hey, say something.
Yo, what's going on? There we go. I think that's a little better.
Okay, it is something on him.
Okay. Because it was you for a minute, and me and Mark were good. Now you go.
How's it now, guys? Everything good?
Hello?
We think.
Hello?
We think so. I think we're good now.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, you still got an echo.
Me?
Russell's.
Oh.
I don't know.
Weird.
Put it all up, guys. Sorry.
Does anybody else watching the YouTube
Yes,
hear that? Because I can't see the chat stuff.
I can't see it either.
Hello?
Hello. John, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Russ, you can't hear a thing?
I can hear you, but I'm hearing myself.
Yeah, you keep going in and out.
Not even in and out. It's almost like an echo.
Yeah, it's like a weird.
Like off a wall. A reverberation.
You can't be saying those big words, John. I don't know what you're saying. You can't be saying that.
Sorry, music lingo, my bad.
That's all good, man.
How you been?
Been good, bro. Man, well, how you feeling about the up and coming season?
I'm feeling great. I can't wait to get to week 1. All the preseason, we're going to be drinking Kool-Aid, doing great. It's going to be out the window,
I know.
and it is
Yeah.
what it is. Real
It is
football.
what it is, man. There's a lot of hype on this team. I think it's a little bit too much, but I do like what we're doing. I do like what we're doing for sure.
Yep. We've definitely improved at a lot of spots.
Oh yeah, man. I think we improved at a lot of levels.
And then
still
just
worry about
second
the
year
O-line
defense
depth.
coming together.
Yeah,
even more.
Absolutely,
That
man.
helps.
I think Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are building something here, and they're building it the right way. It's nice to it's refreshing to kind of see that, right? So
very much so.
Excited for the 2023 season now. I don't know if they're going to beat the Chiefs. I don't have them beating them. I don't have the Lions winning that game, but I don't think they're going to get their heads kicked in. So I think it'll be a good game.
That's kind of my thoughts.
Yeah. And if they win, they win.
As long as it's a good fight back and forth, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, just don't get blown out, man. That's all I'm saying, right?
I think that's the sentiment
but I think
about
they have a
everyone
shot.
who's realistic.
Yeah, I think they have a shot. I don't know how big of a shot they have, but I like what
any given Thursday,
if they
right?
Get the Mahomes though, they're in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with my phone. I have no idea.
Huh.
And John, me and you are the only ones that are echoing to me. I'm echoing, and
Okay,
John,
I just muted myself for a second.
you're still echoing.
Did that help? Still?
Let's see if I can talk to. Hello. I'm still.
Hello.
You ever dealt with anything like this, Mark?
No.
No, man. I don't do a lot of stuff from my phone, but you're on a computer, right?
I'm on a computer.
Yeah. The echoing, they could happen sometimes. I don't know, man. I'm not really too computer savvy, tech savvy, whatever. So it could be a number of things. Who knows?
Hello?
Well, I got to get back into work from lunch, so I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for having me, and hopefully that fixes it.
Okay.
Later,
brother,
guys. Go Lions.
Go Lions, man.
I don't know where this echo came from all of a sudden.
Still
this is driving me crazy. You're not echoing. It's only me.
Oh, I don't hear it.
I
don't hear the echo, but that's just on my side.
I'm sorry, everybody out there.
It happens.
And it sucks because I can't. It's like I can't have a conversation. I'm trying to fix
try to leave and come back in. Maybe it's that.
Leave for a second, and I'm going to talk.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that actually stopped it. Jump back in, Mark. Let's see if we can. Hopefully, because now all of a sudden the thing is gone for me. I don't understand. Someone else get on the stream. Mallet. Now it's just Wayne. Yeah, it's only me. You're good. And am I still echoing to you guys? We need to get the Geek Squad up there. Yeah, I'm going to punt, guys. I'm going to punt for today. I have no idea what happened right there during that from that side. So I appreciate everybody jumping on here and being part of today's broadcast. And we do have some roster cuts that are going to be coming up here for your team. And I know this is kind of like the boring day for us because we're in the middle of it. But tomorrow we're going to be going over all of the roster cuts in the morning at 11 a.m. Hopefully I won't be dealing with this. Maybe my computer's all hot. and overworked and it's just being weird or something like that. But this has been the NFC North phone sessions with your host, Russell Wayne, with a little bit of the technical difficulties today. We apologize for that. Please make sure that you join us each and every Monday night for NFC North open mic. You can come represent your team, talk a little bit of smack, do all that thing. And man, this has been NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne. God bless each and every one of you that are listening. Thank you for watching the show, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning. Please go over and subscribe to that YouTube channel. Football Talk with Russell Wayne every morning at 11 a.m.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not gonna be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.